Going into your album, Stop to Smell the Flowers.
Yes, sir.
This was not the first time I've listened to your music. I've been tapped into your music for I feel like a little over 2 years now.
Yeah, it's definitely been.
It's been a minute, and a lot of that music is not, I feel like, not on Spotify at least. But when I first got hip to you, that was the first artist I thought of was Earl. I was like, oh, he's an Earl influenced rapper, blah blah. But the more I listened to your music, I was like, okay, yes, he's influenced by Earl, but he's not Earl. Like, I was like, he is his own sound. So
appreciate that, bro.
Fast forward to today, Stop to Smell the Flowers. Would you say this project does sound like anybody, or would you say like this is definitely the start of you making your own sound?
I definitely gotta attribute that I'm closest to that, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to perfect my own sound. I was really trying to lock in, and especially like this was like a collaboration between me and bro, and we were just trying to figure out like sonically what direction. And for myself, my idea behind it, I kind of wanted it to sound like soundtrack music, kind of like on my own score. So like that was like my idea consciously behind it. Like I was just trying to make music for the life that we was like how life was going on around me and stuff like that.
See, that's hard. That's hard.
Appreciate that, brother.
I was about to say, what were you gonna say, Rod?
For him to say soundtrack music, it makes sense. Like I said, like it sound like that video in specific, like it sound like Black Dynamite.
I like my split spark, I'm faded, kick like a sensei. Grabs in my pocket where I need it, next to my switchblade. Only rule, bro, get even, next one get paid. I got a plan straight to the top, please don't miss me. I got my hands all in the pot, how you skip me? I'm a lost gem in the rock, how you skip me? Okay, yeah.
Yo, this sounds like it's about to be a racist scene, low key, but he flowing on it. Like, you know, he's not rapping fast on it.
Appreciate that, bro.
He kind of flowing on the fast. I'm like, hold on, this is different. And so I was when he says Kendrick and he says 3 stacks, I'm like, all right, that kind of makes sense. I can hear that for sure.
Yeah, nah, this was a good project. It was short. Was that something spoken about in your camp?
The way people consume music, I know it'd be harder to get new people who not too familiar with my sound to get engaged. So I kind of wanted to make something that was like, how can I get somebody who never listened to me involved and kind of give them a little piece of what I got going on? And also for the people who enjoy my music, how can I give them some substance? So I was trying to find that little middle ground for real.
That's good. Because you know who else just did that? And me and Rob was just talking about this. Schoolboy Q, where he kind of would have a song go for like a minute, some change, and it would completely switch. Yep. And it was either if it went to the next song or the beat changed, or, you know, it was just something that happens within like every 30 seconds to a minute. And I'm like, oh, this is where our attention span is, because that is where I find myself getting bored.
Exactly, bro. After a while, you gotta, you know what I'm saying, keep people engaged.
Them TDE boys been ahead of that though. They've been ahead of that when it came to changing the beat, changing the tone. They've been doing that for a minute, so they were definitely ahead of the curve. You got an album out. I mean, I know it's probably a vague question, but what is that process like to someone that may watch this video and now you have the people that you're inspired by, they may go listen to your music and be inspired by it, but they don't know that how difficult it possibly could be to make an album, to be an artist like that. So what was that process like? If it's difficult, you can say it's difficult. If it was easy, then it was easy. You know what I'm saying? Like what was that like for you to go ahead and make an album?
Honestly, I feel like it may vary. For this project specifically, I feel like it definitely was easier because when you got help, you know what I'm saying? Like I was working with bro, so a lot of ideas, like my problem is I be overthinking stuff. So I be needing somebody to bounce ideas off with. Like, yo, do this make sense? How this sound? So I feel like having somebody to keep you grounded definitely helps. But when I'm working on like my own personal self, it kind of be difficult towards the end because like you never know how you want to like tie it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? How you want to present it to people. I figure out like the beginning part always the easiest because that's where like the motivation, you got the inspiration, like you know what I'm saying, you following that creative flow. It's just trying to finish it and make sure it's all cohesive at the end that usually get difficult.
I feel like a lot of artists that do start out, they don't know the process that goes into an album, especially like you were saying, like keeping that motivation, keeping it like a unified sound, like the amount of focus that takes to get to that end point where I feel like a lot of artists, that's when they stop caring about a lot of stuff, the marketing for it, you know what I mean, send it to the people, the cover, like they like, I'm just trying to get it out, I'm just trying to rush some songs out there. Like Kendrick, since we talking about it, I mean, Kendrick has always been notorious for that. 3 years, 2 years, he is in the lab. Do you want to stay? Like, are you more free flowing with that? Because you remember there was a time where it's like, you ain't dropped this year, you not trying. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
What side are you on for that conversation?
I feel like it depends. I kind of like try to not force the creativity. I just let life happen, and sometimes I might be like inspired and I might just cook for a month straight. I'm just in the studio for a month, and then sometimes I just be focused on other areas of life where I probably don't got the motivation to like sit in the studio, or maybe I'm like focused on trying to like visually appeal to people and trying to get more visuals out. So I kind of like might take a little break off, might take a month off, but never a year. Like I ain't gonna pull a Kendrick on nobody. I ain't gonna go away for no 5 years. Not to say
hey, small artists don't have the luxury.
You don't got a luxury.
You don't have. I feel like even if I had the luxury, I probably wouldn't, because I enjoy creating music. Yeah. Like at some point I'm a always create music, but I try to take time in between stuff to make sure like each project doesn't sound the same, and I'm not like repeating the subject matter, and like I'm not talking about the same topics. I try to live a little bit, you know what I'm saying, have something to talk about, and sometimes even sitting with the perspective of how I want to like break something down if I want to present something to people. Because for my thing, I ain't gonna say I like concept albums, but I like to have a message behind what I'm doing. So like even if it's something just for the vibes, I at least like want to have like a meaning for it, or a reason why people listening to it.
See, that's good. You know who my favorite is for that? Yeah.
Who that?
Yeah. He going through something. You know what I mean? Like it's something specific on why he made that project.
Me and Malik, we're from the same area. We grew up together, basically went to the same middle school, high school, all that. We grew up in Dayton, Ohio. In the Midwest, really, when they say that, I mean, we probably get every single genre, Nip, Kendrick, and all them out west. But then you still, like I said, you got ASAP. And then I got folks from the South. So I live in Alabama right now. Now, a question I have regionally, because you probably gonna understand what this is like, especially being an up-and-coming artist. In the process of creating, do you ever have to think about me being an East Coast rapper from Rochester? How do I appeal to someone in Alabama, Mississippi, Memphis, Atlanta? Like, is that a focus at all, or is it just I'm gonna create what I'm gonna create, and that's that? How do you go about that when it comes to making music?
Honestly, I just go about just creating it, and then whoever like the music resonate with. Because what I noticed, sometimes it don't even resonate with people who are in my city. But like I got people who outside of my city that be like, "Yo, it's so crazy." Then people in the city listen to it, they be like, "It's all right," like, you know. So I feel like I just go into it and just like, honestly, I try to make it for myself first. Yeah. And I figure if I make it for myself, as long as I like it and I got that energy into it, I feel like somebody might, you know what I'm saying, find it interesting.
With so many content ideas, and me and Rod battled this a lot when we was first starting with Nobodies, of like, who are we even appealing to? You know what I mean? Like, who is even this audience? And what did I always say to you, Rod? Like, they gonna find us, bro. I was like, they gonna find us because we just being true to ourselves. We just doing whatever the heck we feel like doing. We just waking up, posting, I don't know, whatever meme that just came up, and we're just like, I thought that was funny. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And in music, I feel like that's even more. If you're trying to make a sound that sounds like another,
exactly,
you know what I mean, region of the United States, like that's where all your fans gonna be then. Like you ain't gonna have nobody in your hometown that like you still.
Exactly.
Exactly. And that's what, you know, Malik, that's why I asked him that question, you know, and I'm sure we'll run into more people that think like that, and then some that think like, oh yeah, I gotta make this. I always want to make sure the answer is exactly.
We had to clear you. We had to make sure
clear you out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, be creative. Like that's the focus. Is he's creating when he wants to create. Not, I gotta find a way to appeal, and now the nigga trying to act like T.I. or some shit. Like, I'm not
right. Exactly, bro. Like, you was not T.I.
You from Rochester. You are who you are. You Kai. So like, no, I wanted to know that for a fact, because you know, with music, I think people get so impatient, and they just won't trust their process and what they doing, and trust themselves, that they feel like they gotta find a way to appeal to. You'll never appeal to the masses, man.
Something I feel like I did once I finished it. I just listened to it again before this interview, just to, you know what I mean, just listen to it again, get your sound again. And I feel like you still probably have a lot of songs that did not make this. Am I accurate in saying that? Because like you said, you collabing with a lot of different people on here. You building different sounds. Like, have you already started thinking about, oh, we could have did it this way, and you know what I mean? Have y'all already went through that stage?
Yeah, definitely. We was like, dang, we could have added a couple more songs. You know what I'm saying? Different ways that we could have broke it apart. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we definitely sitting on, like, me personally, I know I'm sitting on just like at least over 100 songs that I've made like this year. So I just been like,
wow.
And it's like, honestly, just like a range of sounds. I just been just creating stuff, just experimenting with different stuff and working with different producers. You know what I'm saying? Just really having fun.
That's what's up.
And that's like my biggest thing, to not ever try to take it too serious. I'm like, bro, it's just music. You know what I'm saying? The goal of it is just to, you know what I'm saying, have some expression. Yeah. So I just been having fun with it. And then I know bro, he working on his project. So really we kind of wanted to like have a three-piece. Yeah. So it's like a little collab tape. Then I'm gonna drop my solo joint. Then he gonna drop his solo joint. So it's all kind of like, you know what I'm saying? The songs I didn't make it, he get to toss it on his. I get to toss it on mine, and it kind of just all be cohesive.
You might have just gave game to a lot of people with that, because that makes sense. That makes sense. Like, y'all have a lot of different sounds, but yeah, who's to say if it goes on this album, like y'all said, y'all got the vibe. Y'all, that's what y'all trying to build is, nah, this go here. Like this song go right here. So that's why I really like that, because that was my exact thought when I got to the end. I was like, he got more. Yeah. I like that's literally like
honestly, I feel like timing is also a big thing. Like just understanding the timing. And then like being from Rochester, it's like cold here. So I was like, when I dropped that project, I had that in mind. And I kind of wanted to capture that essence of like, you know what I'm saying, that hardcore New York sound. And then now I'm like, it's about to go into summer and spring. I want to drop something more lighter, something more melodic that would feel like, you know what I'm saying, with the time frame.
That's what's up.
You mentioned production earlier. What top 3 producers you would like to work with in the future? Ooh, like your wish list.
Top 3. I got to first shout out Alchemist. Definitely Alchemist on my list. Definitely Conductor Williams, and then Harry Fraud.
Okay.
I just found out Conductor Williams is a full-on content creator. Have you ever came across the Conductor's social media?
Bro, his YouTube channel popped up in my recommendations, and I was just binging it. I ain't gonna cap.
I was like, who in here? Nobody told me. I was mad. I was sitting there mad, like, bro, nobody told me he is a full-on content creator.